good bunker player or you had a hard time finishing the round. Here in our short game area at our Lukaya, we've created a great situation where you can practice all kind of bunker shots. Right now we're going to talk about a basic bunker shot. And the first thing I have to tell you is why we use a sand wedge instead of a pitching wedge. The reason is simple. It's this flange or bounce on the bottom of the club. What that does is it lets the club bounce through the sand. If you used a pitching wedge without the bounce, it would end up digging in the sand and you'd have a hard time getting this ball out of the bunker. Let me show you what we're going to do differently here than we do in a normal swing, because there's a couple changes we have to make in this shot. First of all, we're going to play the ball very far forward in our stance. The reason we're going to play it forward in our stance is we're going to try and hit 2 to 3 inches behind this ball in the sand and throw the sand and the ball out of the bunker. To do that, we've got to create a couple things. We're going to open the club face before we grip the club. And this is important because if you grip the club and then open it, it's going to return to the way you gripped it. So I want you to take it in your lower hand and open the club face first. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to have our top hand be a little more on top of the club. In other words, your thumb running right down the shaft towards the head. This allows the lower hand to work under the top hand and let the club release out on the target line. That's right, release out on the target line. How many times have you read or seen people say that you want to cut across this shot to get the ball out of the bunker? Well, I don't like that method. I like to be swinging the club face out at the target so our ball comes out at our target, not out to the left with some kind of left to right spin. Let's talk about the technique. We're opening the club face before we grip it. That lets us utilize this bounce on the bottom. We're going to play the ball up in our stance so that we can hit 2 to 3 inches behind it. If I played the ball in the middle of my stance, the bottom of my arc would come way back by my back foot. I'd end up taking too much sand and might not get the ball out. So I'm going to take a little buried stance in the bunker.